Most people, whether they're an employee or HR who are managing a redundancy process, think that if the role is genuinely disappearing, then that's it, slam dunk, automatic, fair redundancy dismissal. That's not how it works. Let's break this down. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings that there is inside of redundancy. If the role goes, then everyone thinks that's fair, that's fine, there's no issue, there's nothing to argue about. But that's not how we should be thinking about it as HR. We know that redundancies is about strategy and it's about process. And that always has to start with a redundancy pool. Why are you in the pool? Why aren't others in that pool with you? Could or should that pool be wider? Most people think, well, that's the level of management, or that's the job spec, that's the title. That's not enough. The largest number of redundancy claims are coming from an unfair pool where these considerations have never been made. And worse still, a lot of pools are being manipulated or are unsafe on purpose. That means managers want to save certain people and not others. We've also seen a huge and ridiculous trend where many large-scale redundancies, they're deciding who's going to go, and that's caught the pool. That's not how this works. Second thing to think about, that especially if you're an employee or if you're HR and you're in charge of this, is that if a process feels fake, it usually is. If it's predetermined and an employee can pinpoint why, because I lodged a grievance, because I asked for flexible working, that can only support and strengthen their case. The typical scenario that we're seeing right now is where there might be a department and they've got 1.5 people, so one full-time person and one part-time person, and the redundancy grounds are we need to remove 0.5 FTE. So most people are saying, so that means the part-time person automatically redundant. That's not how it works, especially when you can't justify why it is that you're only trying to remove part-time. Overall, the biggest thing to remember is that a redundancy process is not about whether the business has changed. That's the wrong focus. A redundancy process is whether or not the employer is consulting properly and meaningfully with employees before any decisions are made. Looking forward to your comments. Do you agree or disagree? Don't forget to follow for more.